Well, good morning, Series 7 test takers. Don't know if you're one of the weekend warriors going to be studying this weekend, but if so, nothing but mad respect for you. This is Series 7 Guru coming to you from my studio here in fabulous Las Vegas. We have a request for another explication of a practiced question. The best free supplement for your paid study materials is my YouTube channel. I will link to the most comprehensive free options playlist found on YouTube in the comments section, and you can find a separate carve out for what this question is about is covered call. You're going to get more than one question on a covered call on your Series 7. All right, so let's get started. Shout out to Kaplan. Kaplan gives me permission to give you a free look at Kaplan content. And the commercial is, if you don't have a Kaplan Q Bank as a paid supplement, I highly recommend it. With the Guru 10 discount code at checkout, it's about $60. And for that commercial, we get to use it for a free look. We'll help you on any question you have. But Kaplan is easier because you just, like this test taker, send me the QID and I can put it up on the screen. All right, so the first mantra about options is to fire up the T. We want to be able to track money in and out of the account. A lot of ways to do options. This is the tried and true method. Are there other methods? Yeah, they kind of work. Kind of work means they're not going to work in every circumstance you might encounter on the test, and kind of a cop-out or excuse to tell you, well, don't worry about it. If it's a difference between passing or not. Now, if you can get good at tracking money, I use dollars out, dollars in. Some people like to use debit. That's money out. Some people like to use a minus sign, whatever floats your boat. And you're good at contract specifications, you're going to be pretty good shape on options. Let me just put that there in our T. And I would be doing this on my scratch paper. So on my official Prometric scratch paper, I would be making a T. All right, so that's going to be money out. And we fire up our T. That's the mantra for, my students who do options. My students do very well on options. And we'll call that a credit. Some people like to call that a credit. Some people like to use a plus or a minus sign. Again, whatever floats your boat, as long as you come up with the right answer. So again, there's a reason that this is a tried and true method. You could, on the pluses and minus side, might still use a T because, you don't want to get bogged down. Now, if you can track money and you're not fumbling around with contract specifications, what I mean by that, then you don't need to memorize anything. So contract specifications, I look down here and I see that what we have is an obligation to sell the stock. That's what I mean by contract specification at the strike price. XP means strike price. Okay, so now I'm kind of ready to kind of look through this question and see what's going on. A customer purchases 200 shares. So that's really important as a test taker because that means we're looking at a stock position. And stock always dominates. So the minute we see this 200 shares here, we got to say, okay, this is a stock position and stock dominates. So, once I get stock plus options, where a lot of people get messed up is they're, going to let the option tail wag the stock dog. And here we're long stock, and so this is a bullish transaction. You do need to be able to identify this as a covered call. You do need to be able to identify this as a covered call or buy right, even if that isn't a test question. I just told you it is. That you don't want to know what to do next. As I said, what you want to do is get your T fired up, and you want to track the money. So here we have 1750 out. Now, I always like to do things on a per share basis. Then when I'm done, I can multiply once and be done with it rather than continue to multiply throughout the question. So again, buffet, take what you like, leave what you don't. But here we're out 1750 for the stock. Some people like to use pluses or minuses. And then we write two 20 calls at one. And again, I like to do it on a per share basis. And what we're doing here is generating additional income, very testable. In terms of suitability. Why do we do covered calls? We do it to generate additional income. on the stock position. I say, hey, how would you like to agree to start every stock transaction at a profit? How would you like to agree to sell at 20 stock you just bought at 17.50? Somebody will pay you $100 to agree to sell at 20 stock you just bought at 17.50. That will lower your out-of-pocket cost, right? We've lowered our out-of-pocket cost, so we get a little bit of price decline protection here. So we brought in point and a half. So now we're net out of pocket for this position, and that's our break even 16. By the way, the other reason the T is kind of helpful is because, on the test, they're going to give you choices. And if you get good at the T, you know that, the break even is the number. 1750. Whoop. That's the other reason you want to have a process, right? Because then you catch yourself when you are trying to look for the break even. Here, what I like about this is now you can just check out the break evens offered to you. And you know that it's a number that if you put it in there, you put it in there would make the columns balance. So, here I say, okay, well, what would make the columns balance? Maybe my B choice is 1650. And I say, yeah, okay, if I put that in there, it would indeed make the columns balance. So that's kind of what's nice. One, benefit of the T. All right, they didn't ask us our break even here. So at expiration, the stock is trading at 19. So, one thing to remember is T. And what T stands for is what can happen to an option contract. An option contract can be traded. T, it can be traded. It can be exercised, or it can expire. Those are the three things that can happen to an option contract. If you're going to trade options for me, I'd make you write 1,000 times. Options are a wasting asset. Time value erodes. At expiration of the contract is only worth its intrinsic value. If it has no intrinsic value, the contract will expire worthless. Now here, they're nice. They tell you the option expires worthless, but you should know as a test taker that if at expiration a contract has no intrinsic value, it's going to expire worthless. You might get a question where they don't tell you that. They just say at expiration, the stock's 19. So anyways, that means the contract expires. So let's put that in here. By the way, they told us that, which was, again, kind of nice. They didn't have to actually necessarily tell us that. We should have been able to figure that out. Comes with practice. Anyways, let's put that in there. Boom. Expires worthless. And I forgot the W. Oh, well, close enough for this. If the customer sells his long stock at the market, so now we say we sell the stock at the market, and they told us the market was 16. So boom. They'll say he sell, whoop, not 16, my bad. That was the break even. 19. Boom. Now that's why the T is so nice, because with the T, it says the gain or loss is, the gain is. Oh, now they're being nice. They're telling us it's a gain. They don't have to do that on the test. They could just say, hey, what is the gain or loss? But anyways, now what we can do is just net the T, a lot less memory work involved here. And I told you, if you do it per share, then it's nice because you just have to do the multiplication once. So we're out of pocket 1750. Let's put that in red. Boom. Right. And we brought in 20. Boom. And so we made 2.5 points. So, it comes with practice on the T, but, like that's helpful. So now we just got to go back and do the math of the 200 shares. By the way, I recommend doing that last, right? So we made 2 points on a position of 200 shares, right? So we made 2.5 points. Need some more caffeine this morning. 2.5 points on 200 shares. And so we made 2.5 on 200 shares. Let me get on my calculator. I'm not being facetious. I'm terrible at arithmetic. So, I'm definitely going to use my calculator. God knows you don't want to do all this work and then, not be able to do the arithmetic. And so we're looking for an answer of a $500 game. Boom. All right. So let's just review. When you do a covered call, there's 3 sources of profit. One source of profit is the 1750, the 20. We didn't make 20, but 20 would have been the ideal closing price. The premium of $100, that's a second source of profit. And then we also gain dividends along the way. So we said here, we need to recognize this is a stock position and stock dominates. This is a bullish position. We said we want to be able to fire up the T. We're out 1750 for the stock. We brought in a point for the option. So we're net out of pocket 1650. We're net out of pocket 1650. Excuse me, that would be the break even. My bad. So we're net out of pocket 1650, and that's the break even. Okay, so then we said what can happen in the option contract can be traded, it can be exercised, it can expire. Here they were nice to tell us it expired, but you should know if it's got intrinsic value, it gets exercised. If it has no intrinsic value, expires worthless. They told us that in the question. They said the stock was 19, and so we sold it at 19. So we were net out of pocket 1750, and we brought in a total of 20. So we made 2.5 points on a 200 share position, and so we made $500. Let's see if that answer is available to us. And boom, we said you want to get good at contracts. There we go. Boom. So let's clear up the slide here. And let's just briefly look at what the explanation is. Yeah, they just didn't do the T. I think the T is the way to go. Okay, so remember, inch by inch, options is a cinch, yard by yard, options are hard. We are reaching a milestone over the weekend, so pretty excited. I'll probably make another little milestone short or something for the YouTube channel. We'll be crossing over 1 million views. Woo-hoo! And 10,000 subscribers by Monday. So I appreciate your views. I appreciate your referrals. And I will see you hopefully Tuesday for the live stream. Bye-bye.